Alright guys, let's talk about Algorand on the channel once again. Now you can see on the 1 hour time frame, like Sui actually, which I just did a video on, it looks like it's creating a flag here. Now if this is to break out to the upside, it should take us to what, about almost 40 cents guys. So it's not massive of course. We're talking about a small time frame, the 1 hour time frame. Now it has to get support here basically on this line. If it breaks down, the target will actually be back here at what, 35.1 cents, let's just say. So let's see what happens guys. Now if I put the RSI indicators on, just want to see how this looks. Now we're looking at this on a relatively low time frame, the 1 hour. Looks like it's pointed down on the Stochastic RSI, so and it's actually overbought. It's pointed down on the RSI, but in neutral territory or good territory, we can say. Let me just go back to the 15 minutes real quick. Okay, this looks like it's almost oversold, so that's good on Stochastic RSI, but it is pointed down. It is pointed down on the RSI as well, but in good territory. So 4 hour, it is overbought again on Stochastic RSI. Now it's pointed down on the RSI at the moment, but in still good territory for the 4 hour. Now the daily looks like it wants to curve up here on the Stochastic RSI. It is pointed up on the RSI, so that's good to see. Now, weekly time frame looks like it's going to curve back up, maybe, possibly here on Stochastic RSI, and the RSI is actually pointed down, but it's in good territory. So, what I take away from that, guys, basically, I do believe in the short term, this is probably going to break down before it, goes up. So in the shorter term, I would say this scenario of going down here would be more likely. Now, will it be stronger than what this target, points? Actually, I should have put this up here. Sorry. Points to. So yeah, it's going to be what, 35.5. Not 3.5. But anyways, 35.5. I should have put this up here on the top of this, if it's going to make a downward move. So yeah, that's the target. Let's just see if it can hold stronger. Now a lot of times, these cryptos don't hit those targets. And for example, I remember ADA recently was stronger than its target to the downside. There were several others I've done recently that they didn't quite make it to their downside target. That we had indicated or we had found or what should have happened technically when we looked at it. So yeah, this is just a technical target, and it doesn't always have to be right. So let's see. Just taking a look at the VPVR, the visible range here, volume. Basically, it is coming up to a point where you can see it got rejected here, basically on this node. And yeah, I mean, it does have a little bit of room to run up to about, what, 40.3 cents, let's say. But this is a little bit bigger node, and it may reject it like it did here in these candles. So, if it drops down, it can drop actually pretty quickly. Taking a look at the tokenomics, guys, Algorand basically has 10 billion max supply. Most of this is actually circulating, so 83% basically is circulating. So that's nice to see. It can't be really diluted that much. Now, if you're still looking for a project that is like 90% down, well, Algorand would be a pretty good one to pick up, I would say. So yeah, I mean, its all-time high was $3.56. Now I do remember Algorand got up, I think, pretty high last bull run. This was the previous bull run, 2019. So not a good sign that it didn't really make its all-time high in the previous bull market, but does it have a chance? I mean, a lot of people, a lot of influencers as well, point out that this is an excellent project, and I've seen a lot of other videos about Algorand, and I like what I see. I think it has potential, guys. So anyways, if you're looking for something that is still way down and has great potential, Algorand would be that. Now let's take a quick look at Bitcoin here. You can see that basically today we are almost getting a bullish engulfing candle. This needs to come up a few $100s more, really, about $300 more, and then we'll get a bullish engulfing candle from yesterday. So that would be really nice. Now we still have a little bit of time today, several hours still, so it's very possible that we could see this happen. Now yesterday, like I said, I was getting worried. I think we were somewhere around here yesterday when I made the videos, and yeah, it looks like we almost caught support on this line here. I mean, we were only like a few dollars away, really, maybe $20 or so. But anyways, guys, looks like we pretty much caught support at 91.1 basically, and yeah, we're getting that bounce. Now we have gotten rejected today, basically by 95.6. We didn't quite make it up to this Fibonacci here at 96.150. So let's see what happens, guys. Tonight basically, starts the weekend, so I don't think there's going to be too much action on the weekend. But let's see. I think we'll probably consolidate between these two lines, and probably Monday try to continue up. Now Ethereum, on the other hand, guys, has taken a little bit more of a hit recently, and is not faring so well like Bitcoin actually. You can see that it is holding on to the Fibonacci level. It has retested this today actually. Now, the only good thing I can see is it didn't have such a wick like yesterday down into this Fibonacci. It just barely wicked into it. If I zoom in, you'll see it a little bit better. So yeah, that is good. But we do need to start working our way back up into this range again. We need to get above 33.13, like where we were for many days before, guys. You can see we kind of consolidated here. Now we did dip down into this, region here where we are right now, but it was just a quick dip. So don't want to spend too long here. We need to get back in this range and start working our way back up. Now taking a look at the total market cap, guys, it's similar to Bitcoin on its daily candles. It's almost a bullish engulfing candle here, right here from the previous day. So we also almost went up to the 3.28 trillion mark. We're at about the same height we were yesterday, where it got rejected basically. So yeah, I mean, it needs to start working its way back up to 3.28 trillion. Overtake that, and then we can worry about 3.62 trillion next. Now, if we take a look at the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, guys, it's actually crossing the 1.34 trillion, line here. Yesterday we were below it, and we did actually close below it, but it looks like we're going to close above it today, so that is a good sign, guys. Keep in mind this is a weekly time frame resistance, though. Actually, it's a support right now as we're above it, but this is kind of the wrong time to look on it, or look at it, So basically, you should be looking at this on a weekly time frame, not a daily time frame like we are. But the longer the candle, over these lines, the better. So, anyways, let's see what happens now, guys. But yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to go too far below 1.32 trillion. There is quite a bit of support here. Probably on daily time frame, we could put another, line here. But anyways, guys, let's take a quick look at the dominance. Now, the dominance is actually, looks like it still wants to go up. It wants to follow this line, and that is not a good sign, guys. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to try to form this W pattern. If it breaks 59.16, guys, we're in trouble. Serious trouble. So technically, that would take us pretty far up. It probably would actually take us to new highs. I'm not going to measure it though, guys. It's just, we'll take a look at it when it gets to that point. If it gets up here to this neckline, we may measure this, but let's just wait and see, what's in store. So this is the daily time frame. So basically, today it really hasn't gone too far, between its top and its bottom. Now, right now, it is kind of getting a push. But yeah, I mean, it's not a large candle today. Compared to the previous days, I mean, this is kind of a tiny candle, and we're almost done with today. Now, talking about liquidations, basically, it's not that much. It's 317 million, so it's still not billions. So, yeah, still okay. I mean, Bitcoin is just kind of going sideways. But today, more shorts are being wrecked than longs, so that's actually good to see, in my opinion. And yeah, if we take a quick look at the altcoin season index, guys, I refreshed this right before the video. It was at 51. So yeah, we slightly went down. And guys, that's pretty much due to this dominance, and it's just trying to push up right now. So again, I don't know how often this is updated as well. Just have to kind of wait and see. But we are still above these two peaks, which, my theory was that we would pretty much maintain these two peaks. Now, we did kind of dip a couple of times under it really quickly. But for the most part, we've been above, these two peaks, which is, good to see in my opinion. Now, this is kind of a pleasant surprise in my opinion. We are down at 50. Now, this is kind of a big surprise. Like for me, I didn't expect to cool down so much. Now, I know yesterday I did say I was starting to get a little bit nervous that we were going to break 91.1, but I think a lot of people were feared by that. Dropping below 90K was a true fear. So today at a 50, which is fine with me. If we stay at 50 for a while, that's, it gives us time to cool down. And however, I don't believe this is going to be 50 tomorrow, just by the way that Bitcoin, is working its way up today. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of a nice little bounce all the way from 91.1 to where we're at right now. I mean, 94.7. So yeah, I just don't expect that we're going to stay at 50. Probably, my guess is somewhere between 55 and 60 is the next stop for this fear and greed index. Pi cycle top indicator, guys, still quite far from crossing. I can zoom in here. But yeah, it is curving up, but it's going to take time, guys. So it's still, I would say, at least 6 months away. Now, next week, guys, we do have some economic data to really look at. On Monday, we have the consumer inflation expectations from New York Fed. That's important. Now, Tuesday, we do have PPI. That's super important. Wednesday, we have CPI. And we also have New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. And we do have a couple of FOMC members speaking. So that's going to be kind of a big day. Now, Thursday, we have jobless claims, Philadelphia manufacturing. We also got retail sales. We have a speaker here, Williams. Yeah, I mean, core retail sales also. These are all pretty big as well. Now, Friday, there's not much going on, so that's kind of good. We kind of get a break at the end of the week. But, yeah, next week is going to be fairly big, guys. Monday, small economic data, I would say. Tuesday, a little bit bigger, but Wednesday is probably the biggest day. So, Thursday is, maybe I would say comparable to Tuesday. But anyways, yeah, watch Wednesday for sure. But, most of the days next week have something important. Now, due to the disastrous non-farm payrolls today, guys, we have 97% believing that we're not going to get a cut this month, which, yeah, I don't think we're going to get a cut either. I've been saying that all along. And today just further, push that incentive, basically, that we're not going to cut this month. Now, I do believe March, June, September, and December probably will get cuts. That is just my opinion. That's my guess. I think we're going to see better CPI numbers and PPI numbers and PC, PE, all of these numbers. So they're probably going to look at that and cut, I believe. Now, we have still like 2 months before March. Anything can happen. So let's hope that we get better economic numbers. But I do believe we will probably cut in March. You know, if we don't, maybe in May, and then June, and then September and December. So I still think there's going to be 4 cuts on the table. Now, the market believes 1. So let's see who's right. Now, this is a beautiful sight to see after we saw so much red the last couple of days. You know, and yeah, I mean, there's just, it's not hard to be green when you've had so much red lately either. But none of these are really super green. Pretty much like, I think yesterday, everything was like 2, 3, 4, maybe 5% red. These are all 2, 3, 4, 5% green. So basically, you're just taking back what you lost yesterday almost. Now, there are a couple of outliers, of course, like Phantom, ALGO, SUI, you know. So, yeah, that's nice to see. And, you know, if you want to stake your coins, guys, go to Coinondo. You know, for example, type in Bitcoin. You will see a list here. Basically, they give you the amount of days you have to stake. They give you limits. Be careful. Read everything. You don't want to get stuck in a position, guys, that you can't get out of if you really want to sell. Or if the bull market comes to an end, you know, hey, you need to take your profit. So be careful. I'm personally looking for flexible or 30 days. You know, I've done 60 with BNB just because of the mega drop lately. Now, I don't think the bull run is going to end in 60 days anyways, but you never know, guys. It's a risk. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, like, subscribe, activate the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.